As the Christmas spirit slowly removes some of the dark clouds of COVID-19, let's continue to practice the safety protocols of washing or sanitizing hands, wearing masks, maintaining physical distance, and staying home if you are sick. It's all about finding that balance to be safe and enjoy Christmas at the same time. Hello and welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Today is about being safe at home, on the streets, and while shopping. So stay with us.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, December 17. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has stepped up planning for the management of a COVID-19 surge over the period December into February. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the focus has been on boosting readiness with technocrats and clinicians from across the public health system. Attention is being paid to hospital capacity, critical care, and testing. The health team is also reviewing border operations, field operations, and the information and communication systems to support surveillance and reporting. In the meantime, Jamaicans are being reminded to be vigilant and adhere to the wearing of masks, keeping 6 feet physical distance from others, frequently washing hands, and abiding by quarantine rules. The Heart Trust NTA will be taking its classes to students, particularly those in rural communities, with the aid of the new mobile training unit. Prime Minister Andrew Holness launched the mobile training initiative at the Garmex Academy in Kingston on Wednesday. The retrofitted unit can accommodate classroom space for approximately 20 students and is outfitted with internet connection, bathroom facilities, and other conveniences. Prime Minister Holness says the acquisition of the mobile unit will enable the National Skills Training Agency to reach unattached and underserved persons in remote, rural areas, as well as those who may have started but not completed a course.
Let me acknowledge and congratulate the management and the Board of Governors of Heart, Board of Directors, for pressing along stridently in making interventions to ensure that there is access and equity in training across the island, even in rural areas, in inaccessible areas, in areas where we may believe there is no need. And not just geographically, but demographically as well.
The Western Hospitality Institute's Negril campus has a newly refurbished skills training center that will strengthen its program delivery in tourism and hospitality education. The $10 million project was undertaken by the government of Japan under its grant assistance for Grassroots Human Security Project. During the official handover ceremony recently, Japan's ambassador to Jamaica, Masaya Fujiwara, said his government was pleased to contribute to human resource development in tourism, which is a key sector in Jamaica's western region.
Japan and Jamaica share the views that education of our people is an important foundational pillar for nation building.
Principal of the campus, Eladio Vassal, says the management, staff, and students are grateful for the project.
The building you're about to tour has been restored to accommodate 8 bedrooms, which are on the lower floor, which will be utilized as housekeeping lab/classroom. And on the second floor, we have a library, we have a computer room, and we have 3 classrooms.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has tabled the revised National Identification and Registration Act 2020, or NIDS. It replaces the NIDS bill that was struck down by the Court of Appeal in 2019. In Parliament Tuesday, Mr. Holness said the state had revised the legislation to align it with the court's ruling. Among the changes are a voluntary and secure national identification system and an administrative structure to establish and maintain the system. It also allows for a robust legislative framework to treat with the collection, processing, storage, retention, usage, and protection of personal data. An independent oversight body, as well as the protocols, procedures, and systems for identity verification, monitoring, and compliance have also been included. Prime Minister Holness says the new NIDS bill has the potential to positively transform the efficacy and transparency of interactions between the state, businesses, and citizens.
The bill will serve as the legal basis for the establishment of a robust, efficient, and effective national identification system underpinned by a legal and regulatory framework that supports safe, secure, and reliable verification of identity, information for citizens of Jamaica and persons ordinarily resident in Jamaica. It will allow for the strengthening of identity security, reduction of identity fraud, and the simplification of bureaucracy.
The new NIDS bill has been referred to a Joint Select Committee of Parliament for deliberations. The Ministry of Agriculture has provided 2 of its agencies with equipment valued at $29 million to help farmers improve their access to water and agricultural markets. A backhoe and SUV to carry out maintenance work were handed over to the National Irrigation Commission and Water Resources Authority recently. The items were procured under the Essex Valley Agriculture Development Project, which is helping to boost the livelihoods of over 700 farmers on 718 hectares of land in St. Elizabeth. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green says it represents a journey towards the long-term modernization and transformation of the agriculture sector.
This project is a comprehensive project. Not only do we get the opportunity to do the wells and do the pipelines and do farm roads, it has a very strong training component, it has a very strong certification component, and then where most projects fall short, which is what happens after the project is finished. This Essex Valley project comes with the resources to provide for a very strong maintenance component.
The Essex Valley Agriculture Development Project is being funded by the United Kingdom Caribbean Infrastructure Partnership Fund at a cost of £35.5 million. And finally, Jamaicans are being encouraged to tap into entrepreneurship for national development. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the call Tuesday as he attended a ceremony in honor of businessman Ian Kent Levy. Mr. Holness insisted that if the island was to truly realize its potential, entrepreneurs and business leaders should be embraced.
We need our business people, and we must encourage them. Indeed, I would say to parents that you need to start to have this kind of conversation with your children about them becoming entrepreneurs, about them understanding what risk is about getting the ideas and the innovation, about not just seeing themselves as consumers and workers, but people who can take the ideas that they have in their heads, go to the banks or go to a financier or go to a friend and mobilize the equity.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Informing.
Jamaica today confirmed its first imported case of coronavirus.
Educating.
If you follow the recommended procedures, it is highly likely that you will not get the disease.
Going beyond to keep you informed and connected.
Welcome to Get the Facts.
Even through the pandemic. Helping you stay safe while we protect ourselves. Dependable. Impactful. Accurate.
This is your JIS News.
Credible. Trustworthy. Every day, everywhere. Serving our customers proudly.
With so many distractions around us, especially during this festive season, the Jamaica Constabulary Force wants us to be safe at home. Here are some measures to ensure that happens.
As we approach the festive season, the Jamaica Constabulary Force want to partner with the entire Jamaica to make it a very safe and holy one. So as we go about our daily chores, there are many things that we are concerned about. One of them happen to be our personal safety and security. So I'll take this opportunity to share a few safety tips with you. So we're starting at home. So whilst at home, we encourage persons to be extremely alert. There's a tendency that when we're at home, we relax a little, which we should be able to do. But within the context of what we're seeing, we want persons to be vigilant even at home. So we encourage you to lock up your doors. If you're inside, make sure all your doors are securely locked. If you happen to be at the back, you want to make sure that the front is securely locked and vice versa. You want to alert everyone at home to be aware that you are not expecting anyone, so they should not readily open their doors to persons who may come in. We know, as we have seen in the past, where persons will try to come to your home with a sad story. Sometimes it's a genuine story, but in many instances they are not. So persons will put forward a situation that they're in need and they would like to get food or clothing. You have to assess those situations very carefully. And even in those instances, if you don't have to let the person in on your premises, don't. You can pack a bag and pass it to them through a closed gate or somewhere that will not make you very vulnerable. If you have children at home, you really need to talk to them about how is it that they engage strangers and persons come knocking. So we want to make sure that even as we purchase our new gadgets for the season, you may want to purchase a brand new television or some expensive household items. Even though you discard the boxes, it's very important. We encourage you to cut them into pieces and put them into bags because we are also concerned about burglary. And persons will use the opportunity because they recognize that from the content and the boxes that you have some things that they are interested in. So we encourage persons to dispose of those very carefully. I know because of COVID-19, a lot of persons may not be traveling to see loved ones. They may want to send a barrel or a package. We also encourage persons to make sure that before you use those barrels for bins, to make sure that you take away all the information that could give the identity of yourself and the persons where they are coming from, because usually they have full names and addresses. And in the past, we have seen where persons have used that information to come back to the house to pretend as if they were genuinely sent by that individual. And because they have all that information which is accurate, then you tend to let your guards down. So even in those instances, you want to make sure that you are securing yourselves safely. It's time to cut some of the trees that would provide coverage for criminals. I mean, they are nice trees, they provide fruits and they beautify the place, but criminals also use them to hide and they could use them and attack you. So you want to look at the trees you have around now and to trim them so that they don't create some safe haven and coverage for criminals.
My job is to ensure that every man, woman and child maintain good health at all times.
Our primary function is to ensure that government services are delivered effectively and efficiently.
We are building forward
together.
Christmas is here again, and there are so many things you may want to do this Christmas.
For parents, you know how the children can be. They are anticipating gifts and making all kinds of demands. But how can you meet those expectations when money is tight? Well, you may want to consider this. Why not engage the children? Talk to them about your financial situation. Let them know how much you have to spend and spell out the necessary things that you must buy. Let them help you design a budget and stick to it. Talk to them about the possibility of postponing gift giving until a later date when you can afford it. Or choose to buy a gift the whole family will enjoy. Don't assume they won't understand. Talk to them. You will be surprised how understanding they can be.
We are continuing our safety alert focus, this time as we maneuver the busy roadways, whether we walk, ride, or drive.
Pedestrians, it is only safe to cross this designated part of the road if you follow the road rules. Never attempt to cross before the indication is given, and do not try to beat the oncoming traffic which has the green light.
You have overhead bridges, and overhead bridges are safe areas that are provided for pedestrians to cross. What we are seeing are pedestrians dashing across dual carriageways and then leaping over concrete medians. That is a no-no. We have had persons who have lost their lives doing that. And I am now appealing to pedestrians to do the right thing and access the overhead bridges that are provided in order to save your own life.
Where there is no overhead bridge or crossing sign, use the pedestrian crossing with caution. Monitor the lights and cross when it's safe to do so. That is a dangerous practice and a 99.9% chance of this happening.
The amount of kinetic energy that comes on your body, that is going to determine whether or not you survive.
There are several signs. Road signs are the language of the road. You have informational signs, directional signs, warning signs, and you have enforcement signs. Enforcement signs are erected upright or those that are drawn on the road surface. For example, you have stop sign, one-way sign, and it points in the direction where the one-way is. No U-turn, no parking, no right turn, no entry, a number of signs. If there is no sign that are erected upright, you will see yellow markings painted on curb walls. That constitute no parking, and you should not park in those areas. You park where white painting is drawn on those curb walls. Those are areas where parking is permitted. You have continuous white lines that are drawn on road surface. No motorist should drive to the right of a continuous white line. There are some other signs, especially like along Knutsford Boulevard, where the dual carriageway is, but there is any elevated median. You see something looking like a zebra crossing. Those crossing depicts a median, but a median that is not elevated. If you disobey a stop sign, it carries a fine of $4,000 or 6 demerit points. If you disobey the traffic light, the red light, that too carries $4,000 a fine or 6 demerit points. On the approach of a traffic light, for example, Halfway Tree Road, Chelsea Avenue, by JIS there is no filter light. You are to obey the light, and whenever you get green, you are to proceed. These lights are so configured that they allow for a pedestrian to cross. So when that red light is on, pedestrians are crossing. So that's why a filter light is not put in. When approaching a roundabout, you are to yield to the person to the right. right? Always allow for that person to go first. Similar thing with a yield sign, a giveaway sign. You have to yield to the person and allow that person to proceed. If you happen to overtake, you have to do so if the way is clear, and once you complete that maneuver, you have to get back to the left lane and remain there. We have persons anticipating the light. You have those that are anticipating the green, and even before the green comes on, they are off. And you have others who are beating the amber in order to go by as well. And I should tell you this, red means you have to stop, amber means you have to prepare to stop, and green means you have to go if the way is clear.
And remember, always wear your seatbelt.
Do not leave valuables such as gifts, laptops, and cell phones in plain view in your car. If you have to leave these items in the vehicle, put them in the trunk. This will decrease the likelihood of a car break-in.
Recover with integrity. Recover with integrity. We should all work together. One aim, one vision in the fight against corruption. There is no division. United with the Integrity Commission. Let's stand up and make a healthy decision that we will not turn a blind eye. We will not lead secret lives. We will not accept no bribes. We will not push values aside.
A message from the Integrity Commission.
Before we close the show, here's a reminder on how to do our shopping safely.
As it relates to shopping and safety, when you're out and about, I can't emphasize this too much. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of persons who you're seeing too often in your vicinity. Become cautious. Keep your bags close. When you purchase your items, don't be going back to your cars and putting them in there, or walking around with a whole heap of items in your hands, because that makes you an easy target. So really and truly, I want us all to enjoy our Christmas, but we also have to do it within context. The reality is COVID is here, and we're encouraging you not to go out and shop. If you can shop online, please do so. However, here are some things that I want you to take into consideration, especially these stores that pop up on Instagram or individuals who are selling. I'm not encouraging you to put a full deposit, a full amount on purchasing an item. I would rather you do cash on delivery, to be quite honest. Reason? There are scammers out there. These are hard times, and people will try and find any which way to get your hard-earned money. In conducting a transaction like that, we are suggesting what you do is you set up a meeting point, and I'd rather you do this at a police station, a security outpost. Have friends with you, and the same goes for the vendors too, because guess what? You also have consumers who will want to scam the vendors. So you make sure you are protected on either side. And inspect your items, make sure what you are purchasing is what you want.
My mother taught me how to work for what I want. And if you don't work for it, then you don't deserve it.
They always tell me, be yourself. Don't try to be like others.
They help me through tough times, good time, bad time, they're always there for me.
Once the family is good, teach the children the right things, then them can grow up on the right.
The Christmas trend today has changed a lot from previous times. So previous times you had big markets, there was a lot of home cooking. There is not a lot of home cooking anymore. People buy a lot of things, you don't get that sort of home cooked thing anymore. The people where, I remember my mother used to buy sorrel, and she used to prepare the sorrel herself, or you prepare the cake yourself rather than buying the cake now. When my mother used to prepare the cake and prepare everything at home. So that's some of the things that people need to do. They need to look at maybe doing that preparation at home.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm, and while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via tweet at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire team at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.